Good morning, girls. I'm Dr. Kiran Deshwal. Today, I will teach you this story, Birthday, composed by Wakam Muhammad Basi. This video is in the continuation of our previous video, which I have shared on our WhatsApp group and YouTube link. Let me summarize in brief what we read in previous video. In this story, we have the narration of one day of narrator's life. That is, it was his birthday when he had no money at all. He had no money to have a cup of tea even, though his meal was azure. And he tells us about his clothing, about his dwelling place, and his relatives, and his behavior. And now we will see what happens later. So let us begin. Then I was stroking my head. The author is looking at in the mirror and he finds a gray hair. He pulls it out and then he strokes his head. It was quite smooth at the back, but as I was stroking my head, I felt a slight touch of headache. He is having headache because he haven't had any tea yet. Could it be because I had not had any tea? This was because he had not had his tea due to lack of money. This is an hour-wise description of his day. So he has narrated what happened till 8 o'clock and now it's 9 o'clock. So we can say that it is an early expression of his activities and events of that particular day of his birthday. So at 9 o'clock, when the hotel keeper caught sight of me, he withdrew inside with a sour face because he has told us that the hotel keeper is not happy with the writer because he doesn't pay him regularly for the food. The dirty urchin who prepared tea, the child who works at that hotel, demanded payment in cash. When the author ordered a cup of tea, the waiter there demanded payment in cash. So the author said, I said, oh, I will pay up tomorrow. He didn't trust me. You said that yesterday, he retorted. This is very genuine description. No one can tell in this way. He is very true to himself. He is narrating frankly that what happens when we don't have money. Even people don't offer us a cup of tea. I thought I would get some money today. So the writer is saying that I will pay up tomorrow, but the waiter boy, is not ready to trust him. He said that it is your habit. You say it usually. I thought I would get some money today. That's why I said so yesterday. I have been ordered not to serve you tea until the old bill is paid. The hotel keeper, who escaped looking at the author, he has ordered to the boy not to serve him tea until the author pays his old bills. So the boy tells that he has been ordered not to serve tea to the author until his all bills are paid. Oh, here we have a question mark. The writer understands everything and he demands tea no more. He says that the boy is a servant here. He is hired by the hotel keeper. He has to follow his orders. What he can do for me. So the author leaves. 10 o'clock. 1 hour passes. Now it's 10 o'clock. My lips were dry. There was no moisture in my mouth just because he has not had his tea. The great heat of midday, the great weight of weariness was ground within me. It is usual. It happens when we don't have money and people neglect us. People try to avoid us. It gives us a feeling of inferiority, of having no money. So the great heat of midday, and his lips are dry. Think if it happens with someone on his birthday, it is very painful. Very in the author is in a very miserable condition. The great weight of weariness was growing within me. He is tired. Just then, two thin and sallow faced Christian boys, 8 or 10 years old, came to my door vending wooden clocks. They were selling wooden clocks and they comes to the author's door. Only 3 annas a pair. I don't need them, children. He tells them very frankly. He's tired. He's in no mood to uh, talk with anyone. So he says that I don't need them, children. We can know that. How can he buy when he doesn't even have money for a cup of tea? I don't need them, children. He says very frankly, but sir, if people like you don't buy, who will? It's also an irony. We know that he doesn't have any money, but the children are saying, but sir, if people like you don't buy, who will? This strikes at the heart of the author. Children, I don't want any. I have no money. He gets annoyed on this. Oh, they are surprised how he can don't have money. He's living in a furnished apartment. Perhaps he is lying. This might be the thought of the children. There was disbelief in their faces. That's why they replied, "Oh," with an exclamatory mark. There was disbelief in their faces. They were too innocent to know the real truth behind appearances. The author is wearing khadi kurta and shoes. So this was his appearance. How can they uh, believe that he has no money? So there was disbelief in their faces. They were too innocent to know the real truth behind appearances. Look at my clothes and the easy chair in which I recline. I'm addressed as sir. That's why they addressed him as sir. But this is the tragedy. Easy chair, shirt, dhoti, shoes, none of these is mine. I have nothing, even my naked self. Is it my own? He questions. Is my physical structure is my own? Wandering in every city of India, in what different places and in what different forms have I lived? My blood and my flesh and my bones belong to India. This is the universality of the author. Every author universalizes himself with the universe and he becomes the nation, he becomes the universe. So he is saying that my blood and my flesh and my bones belong to India. He is an activist, he is a patriotic writer. So he says that I myself is not me. Everything of me belongs to India. From Cape Comorin to Kashmir, from Karachi to Calcutta, indeed in almost every part of India, I have friends. I bring to mind today one by one my friends, male and female. So He thinks that I have spreaded myself all over the India through my ideology, through my ideas, through my thinking. Let my love spread and overflow India like the fragrant light of the moon. We have a beautiful simile here. Every time a poet compares to oneself with none, he is not a person, he is the whole country, he is the voice of the people. Love. Is there anyone who knows me and loves me? He questions again. Is there anyone who knows me and loves me? Because I am in a desperate situation now. I am lonely. Even I don't have money to have a cup of tea. How can there someone who loves me? The hotel keeper hates me. My landlord hates me. Then who can love me? Is there anyone who knows me and loves me? He questions to himself. Knowledge. Knowledge is power. Knowledge, it seems to me, is the lifting if the of the veil of mystery. Knowledge disperses darkness. Knowledge lifts the veil of mystery. It clears the mysteries, the confusion. If one's shortcomings and weaknesses are taken away, what is left? If we improve our shortcomings and our weaknesses, what is left? We are pure, we are sheer. To love and to be loved, one needs something attractive. One has to something attractive to be loved. How quickly time passes. There are so various concepts in one paragraph. How quickly time passes. Time has wings. It flies fastly. How quickly time passes. I, who used to reach up to my father's forefinger and play about childishly, now he is remembering his childhood. How little I was, and now I am so old that I can understand and feel every single thing. So he recalls his childhood days when he was a little boy who used to walk with his father holding the forefinger of his father, and he used to play childishly. I who used to hang on to my mother's sari, and it is very emotional description. Ma, I'm hungry. Whenever he felt hungry, he used to say to his mother, Mother, I'm hungry. Today, today he is hungry, but he has no one to express his feeling of hunger. Oh, how terrible is the passage of time. Everyone has left me. No, I don't have anyone nearby me. How many imaginary bombs of ideas fell and exploded in my heart. Heart is a terrible battlefield. We have a very beautiful comparison and simile here. Heart is compared with battlefield. Heart is a battleground where various concepts and ideas fight with each other. Who am I today? He is tries to recognize the existence of his. He's trying to know his identity. Who am I today? Revolutionary? He talks about revolution. That's why he thinks that. Am I revolutionary? Sadistic. I'm sad. I'm pessimistic. Am I sadistic? Blasphemer. I speak against religions. Am I blasphemer? Communist. I take interest in the benefits of workers. Am I communist? I'm all sorts of things. After all, he says that I'm a mixture of all these things. But who am I truly? Oh, how I feel. There is a splitting ache in my egg when he starts to think. Again, headache starts. Is it because I haven't had any tea? This thing is pricking him again and again. I can hardly keep my head up. I better go and get my meal. I didn't get any tea. Now I should try to have my meal on time. I have to walk a mile with this headache, and this is very painful. But at least I shall have a full meal. He is hopeful that doesn't matter if I didn't have any tea. I will have the full meal, and he is hopeful. We will see in our next video what happens later. Thanks for watching.